What's going on, people? Welcome to another episode of Monday Night
Oh,
Smoke.
all right. Come on, bro. You're in another country, fam. Next to the bodegas, bro. You're in New York right now, bro. How do you feel? Talk to me. Let me hear that New York accent. What's good,
We
bro?
out here with the bodegas. Everything's all good. You know what I mean? We out here. Everybody showing love. We in Harlem, nigga. The Brooklyn, dog. Like, yeah, we having a good time right now, bro.
Energies.
I'm gonna do the whole pod.
No, you can't. You can't. Trav, I like the way you get in the kitchen, so we know you're gonna cook today, fam. I know anyone can get cooked. Again, someone said that. Someone said Lennox. Someone said 11:20. Lennox is in another room of the house. Someone said, "Why you're in the kitchen?" Lennox is somewhere else. Someone said bare ceramics, bro. Man said Armitage Shanks in there.
Armitage Shanks. Oh, that's funny.
Oh,
that's funny.
God. Name the thing, fam. Let's drop.
Yeah, let me do the names. Shouts out man like Nimble82, man like Muller, SWJ, King Fats 95, J Lanks, Raj, Flyblow 98, man like Bruce K, man like Uncle Jonah, Pox is live, Navinda Singh, October Red, Patrick Johnson, Osborne, Doughboy J, Mr. A, Northbank, Brent, Cod Liver Oil, Mike Hudson, Frankie Protect, Basil Joseph, You Man Are Done For, Disgruntled Buddha, Tony Marshall Official, Phil Larkin, Base the Kid, Josh U.A., Jack Scam, Adam Q101, Aaron Ozzy B, Star Fox WR45. Oh, come on now, my wife is in the chat. Hey, babe.
Go on, come on,
Aaron D, Skyliner, Basil Joseph, Nigel PXL, MC Tasty, Stream Elements. Okay, interesting. And then we're here, bro. We're here.
Listen, that's when you know you've been missed. You know, she's in the chat, bro.
I know.
She don't care what you're talking about. She just wants to hear you giving it up. She wants to hear you giving it up about something, bro. Nah. As the best man, that's my role forever, fam. As the best man, welcome, man.
That's funny.
But no, we have to get into it, bro. The question I'm asking, Denzel Bentley he's aiming for greatness. He's going out. Go on.
I feel like it's rude if we start this and we don't give Bivol the flowers
we're gonna Bivol's gonna take a lot of the show, bro. That's gonna take a lot of the show. So I want to deal with this Denzel thing quite early because I saw the conversation. People are talking about Beterbiev versus Yard. Can Yard beat him? There's a lot of conversations going on there. So I just want to focus on this and then we'll get there. Yeah. So now let's do it. We're talking about can Denzel come home with the title? Can Denzel do what people are saying can't be done? There's a lot of trash talk. There is a lot of trash talk right now.
Yannick is talking crazy.
Like he needs to get banged, yeah? And again, brethren bias is in me heavy this one because I know this step is huge. He came on the show. He came on Monday Night Smoke, and he spoke to the great defeaters. He said, "Listen, you don't want to doubt me. I know who was doubting him. Base was doubting him as well." He said, "Listen, I'm believing in myself, bro." Said the same belief that he has in himself, I'm believing in him too. And I pray he does it, bro. This guy's taking a shot at greatness, and I really hope he gets what he deserves, bro. I honestly hope that. But yeah, you got any words to say to him? Any words?
I'm rooting for Denzel, bro. Do you know what I'm saying? We're all behind you. Do you understand? The whole great defeated community, we're all rooting for Denzel. It's going to be...
We're doing watch along.
Yeah. You're going to stay up?
I might as well. It's Denzel, fam. Listen, if he's going to try that greatness, I'm staying up.
All right, cool. I mean, it's easy for me on this side. It's like 10 o'clock. Yeah, bro, I'm down. But yo, honestly, like it's one of the ones where the odds ain't in your favor, innit? Like it's gonna look how it looks. Like you're not expected to win, but we're rooting for man. You believe in yourself. That's what that matters. Let's go.
All right. So now again, we've left that. The question I have today, guys, the question that we have for everyone is Bivol the main man in this light heavyweight thing? Should we clear out all the other man them? Should we just say, you lot, everybody understand this light heavy thing is Bivol, and then you lot are chasing him in the pack. Is it time to fully announce and just say, yo, this is it? Or do we really need to say, you know what, Beterbiev is the man? Who's going to win? If these two meet each other, who's winning that one? And again, because we can't remove Yard from the conversation, Yard will be fighting him next year early. What are you saying? Does Yard have a chance? Or you say, nah, Yard is going to get finished? Yeah.
First of all, you can't say Bivol without saying Beterbiev. Like, Bivol hasn't separated himself from Beterbiev in my mind, but it's one of them ones where Bivol is having a great... I think Bivol is the fighter of the year this year. That's where I'm at. As far as what Bivol has done profile-wise and performance-wise, fighter of the year. Beat Canelo, beat Zerdo. Bro, do you see the size difference between him and Zerdo, fam?
Bro, like everything.
Bro, that looked like AJ and Usyk.
Reach weight.
The size was mad. And there was times in there where man squared up on man like, yo, what? And I was like, you know what, Bivol, you're the guy still. You're the guy.
No, it's again, in that fight, I watched it back and I said, you know what? All I'm going to do is focus on his footwork. Brother.
It's amazing.
It's so hard to just look at the feet and say, you know, I'm just going to focus here because I want to see what you're doing, because somehow you know where to be, you know when to step out of range, but then you get your work off, and then it's even there's like a jump. He kind of jumps into the pivot.
It's in and out. It's in and out.
My goodness, what is going on?
You know what I love? You know what I love? It's the way he can, bro. When he was stepping on my man's foot,
yes,
bro, it's just so slick, so subtle. It's the dark arts. Yeah,
it's
cool. Yeah, it's not legal, but he jabs and bases himself on that weight, on the pivot, on his toe. I'm looking at it thinking, that right there is just cheeky. Beautiful.
It's mad. Again, the guy is as I said again, he's an accurate puncher. You know Beterbiev will go to war. The question is, so now you're talking, and Trav, I know usually go for the punch, usually go for the more cleaner fighter, the more of the technician than the all-out brawler. We know Beterbiev is gonna brawl, like he's gonna take the fight.
You say that, yeah, but Beterbiev can box too. Like, okay, let me not go crazy. Beterbiev, he can't box like Bivol, but he can box, and he's got concussive power, and I'm saying he cuts the ring off in a very different way. So it's one of those ones where it's a good style clash. But the thing I like about Bivol is that Bivol has he's got one of those styles where it's like he never comes out of second gear. He doesn't get pushed into a type of fight he don't want to have. He don't want to rush. And you know what I think is amazing? He doesn't get too excited on his own success.
No.
He'll come in, land 3 big shots, and then just chill. Yeah, you want to retaliate, but no, we're boxing. We're boxing now. And I'm like, that is so frustrated because all you want to do is get revenge. You just want to hit him back. Come on, toe-to-toe with me.
And this is not us again. Listen, October, this is not us sleeping on Beterbiev, because
I'm not sleeping on him.
I struggle. Again, the Yard thing, yeah. I know Yard is fighting Beterbiev soon. And I feel bad, man, because even when we was creating the thumbnail for this show today, it felt nuts just putting Bivol and Beterbiev on there, forgetting that Yard is still in the conversation. But in my mind, I'm like, bro, like, I know you're in the conversation, but these man are the guys.
But it's not disrespect, though. It's not disrespect to not have Yard in that thing when you're talking about who's top 2.
Okay.
Like, let's be real. Bivol and Beterbiev, for the longest time, have been top 2. Our love of the UK side of things has made us focus on the rest. But I wouldn't be completely shocked if people who had no horse in the race didn't go that far as we go down, because we know the man them. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, we can't forget Craig Richards in this conversation either. Yeah, because he was really up there with Bivol in that fight. Yeah, you understand? So for me, I'm like, you know, Bivol's journey to superstardom does give some kind of side points to Craig Richards off the side.
No, you get some points, but this is one of the things that I'm learning about Bivol is he will adapt to whoever he's in the ring with. So while it's good, while you can give Craig some credence, and I love Craig, but I'm saying that I'm now looking at the greatness in Bivol, saying, yo, you understand, in that fight, I might have to fight it like this. In this fight here against Zerdo, I'm going different. This guy pressure me, and he's gonna. Nope, you're not fighting me the way you want to fight me. I'm fighting you the way I see this fight going, and that's now. I've got a newfound respect for Bivol because I'm starting to listen. You will make the fights look the way you want them to look. And Canelo, we stepped in. We never knew he had that gear, that Canelo gear, but again, it was there. So now you see to yourself, listen, that guy is he's an elite fighter. That's it. He's an elite fighter, and I like what he's doing now. He's being very clever. The interviews are smarter. The English is
the personality, bro. That quote about the lion, bro. Man said, "You worry about the size when you were in there." He said, "Listen, the lion, he ain't the biggest animal in the jungle, but he's king." I said, "Damn, put that on a poster. That right there, that's a quote. That's a superstar quote." This guy, for me, I'm like, nah, Bivol, profile-wise, he's becoming the guy. At the negotiation table with Beterbiev, he's going to be like, listen, they don't talk about you like how they talk about me.
Listen, do you know what's mad as well? Because I've seen Eddie Hearn, he's kind of changed. I don't know if Eddie Hearn's his new promoter right now, but Eddie Hearn's talking some long-term plans with Bivol. He said, yeah, you know what we'll do is him and Canelo will fight again, but then we'll go back. We'll still pull up back and go. And I'm saying, when did Bivol become your guy? So now you got to see the Boatsies and everyone else on his roster.
Now we're talking.
It's a bit different, bro.
And you know what's crazy about it? This ain't even like Hearn was over there shuffling to be in the picture. Bivol said, come. Stand. This is what stand with a champion.
Hearn said,
come and stand with a champ. Come and stand with a champ. Man said, I smashed up your brother. Man said, I smashed up your brother. And obviously I handled my business. But come and see what it's like to stand with a champ. Bivol knows there's money here.
There's money around. There's money here.
Beef. Like, people look at it like, but how could you be cool with him? He sent Canelo to beat you. Bruv, this is boxing. He gave him a payday. How about you look at it like that? He's looking at it like, Canelo's a big ticket, and I smoked him. Now I'm the guy.
No, but I'm just saying, while I know you lot saying Bivol's been Bivol, but I'm saying the way that Hearn is just, there's a difference when Hearn's really got his arm around you. Yeah? The difference in Hearn having his arm around you is when he's...
Hold on. Sorry to cut you, but people in the chat are letting us know Bivol's promoter is Frank Smith, so he's already matching his shame.
But I'm
Maybe
just...
It's an internal promotion. He said, Frank,
I'm telling you right now, there's a difference of Eddie Hearn. Eddie Hearn, we know who Eddie Hearn's main guy is, at that light heavy. The one name that he's been talking for a long time is Boatsi. Let's be honest, guys. That's the name that he's been, yes?
Callum Smith
I'm saying there's names that have been the names that he's ringing off. Again, he has Canelo, so there's that relationship. I'm saying that in the recent days, it just feels and sounds different. Now, if you can't see that, that's up to you. But I'm saying it's a different energy.
I hear you. No, I do hear you. But my thing is, I think he's moved away from Boatsy a bit. Let's be real. There's not enough noise there. There's not enough action there. You know, Callum Smith is coming up. You know what I'm saying? But Bivol is here right now. So it's like, listen.
He's here. When I hear Eddie Hearn talking about what we're going to do, the future for this guy, he's giving me 3 fights down the line. He's talking about, bro, it's mad. That's when I know, okay, this is the guy. Again, when he's talking about Caleb Plant Benavidez, and he's saying this could be the fight for Benavidez to get his chance versus Canelo. You can just tell when a man is saying, you know what, I'm in control of how this thing's going at the moment. And he needs to, again, Eddie Hearn had a bad couple of weeks. And again, that Saudi, that card looked nice. It was a good day. I got to quickly shout out to, before we open up the lines, Zelfa tried, man. Getting out on his shield. I want to say getting out on his shield, again, the leg looked like he caught an injury. I don't know what happened and stuff.
Something happened to the leg.
Something happened to the leg early in the round. I was thinking, right, you ain't really clocked that. He ain't putting the weight on it. But for him to, again, that's going out like he said, you know, I'm gonna go toe to toe. Didn't go the way it needed to go, but I was proud of that. I was proud of him in that moment. The Yafai fight, I'm not now. I'm like, I don't know about
I wasn't really them fights there.
I don't know about them ones, but Big up, man. Big up, Cameron,
Kai though, with that first round knockdown, I was like, that was a big knockdown as well. I was like, oh, is he gonna survive the bruv? He came through, did his thing. Mad.
But yeah, it's a techie one. But again, I wanted to make sure that we again talk about these guys. But tonight is all about Bivol versus Beterbiev. Who you got winning?
Let's just say shout out to Chantel Cameron.
Chantel Cameron, that's what I said. She's on the Big, she's on the Undisputed. Again, she done her thing. A big friend of the pod as well. So shout out to you, man. Undisputed, let's go. I want to know what you lot thought about. Did he get injured before? Was it a shot that he took, or was he injured?
Well,
it was so mad to.
Ronin Sevens is saying, I heard conflicting reports. I think Zelfa said his leg wasn't hurt, which means it was the body shots from Rakimov that affected his legs. Okay. But at the same time, you know, when you're like Base was saying his equilibrium was shot. Sometimes that happens, bro. You just hold that shot, boom, and you ain't, you know what I mean? You got hit.
Hey, Campbell Hatton had the dad's punch. He had his daddy's punch, bro. He's been working on that. Now we gotta listen. Campbell, he's been training. He's been on cars that we don't know about. The guy's been moving. The guy said, listen, stop putting me on the main thing. I need to build up. And now people are talking about it. Now they're saying Mayweather's son versus Hatton's son. Can there be revenge? It's a B-Tech version of Conor Benn.
It would not. Could you imagine?
Is a
that fight has no energy at all.
Javante said he'll make him drink for a straw. So I've been looking at
the wheels off of Campbell Hatton. Camp would put him.
But saying you'll make man drink for a straw forever is
too far. It's too far. It's way too far. Man shouldn't be speaking like that. That's why he deleted the tweet, but it was very insane.
Yeah.
It was very insane.
Yeah. All right, cool. Well, let's do it. Yo,
what's going on,
Base?
Man, them hear me okay?
Yeah.
All right, so before we get started, the topics, question for you, KG, because I watched the pod last week, right?
Yes.
And I need a bit of clarity on what you were trying to say with regards to Conor Benn and the WBC and doing the VADA, because it didn't make much sense to me. And I was saying
that how I thought
you looked a bit confused as well by the point.
Right, okay.
Now I was saying this is the point. This is how I understand it. Yeah. Him saying, I subscribe for VADA testing, which means I'm a clean fighter, or why I wouldn't do that. I'm saying, no, you need to do the VADA thing for you to get the WBC ranking, right? Mm-hmm. That's how I understand it. So you can't use that. It benefits you. Don't say I do this because I want to show you guys I'm clean. No, I do this because it benefits me. So that is not an excuse. You can't use that and say, oh, I'm doing this, so rate me because I'm doing this at my peril or this, that, and the other. No, bro. You're doing this because it has a positive effect on you over there, or you're just wasting your time. That's the point I was trying to make.
Okay, but the clean boxing program is slightly different to actual VADA testing. It's administered by VADA, but it's a much lower level version of actual VADA testing. Most people don't even get tested throughout the year being on the CBT. So with regards to this, and I think this is what Travis was trying to say, is that they paid for additional VADA testing. So if both him and Junior both said we want VADA testing for this, that's an additional 40 grand plus of testing from both of them. So that in itself doesn't correlate to what you were saying.
So then again, that's the part that I didn't understand. So I won't go on and say, you know what, from the understanding I had of it, I was thinking this don't make no sense. You can't now say rate me for going through this VADA route when it benefits you. So that's not but hearing this information, it is like I resign.
Yeah, no, they paid for additional VADA testing. So that's why the one reason I kind of, while I'm not making any assumption until everything comes out, because again, like Dillian White and other people, there's been things that have changed. But what I do know is I will listen more to Travis's way of thinking of why would I pay additionally if I had a suspicion or if I knew that maybe I wasn't being genuine. I wouldn't pay to get caught.
That's right.
What about the people that I'm just saying, and I know this is the maddest thing ever, but what about the people that turn up on was it Morrell and they do the DNA test? They're sitting down there like, bro,
knowing
the DNA's bro, you slept with someone else. but you're here. Some reason you're still, and then after the cameraman follows you, you run and you're like, bro, there's no speed they can run at. You're guilty, fam. So
I think that's more hope than anything. They was delusional to believe it was the other person.
No, but
then you might wait
one
second, Trav. I need to drop this letter. You might think, yeah, that my cheating was so elite that it's out of my system by now. So yeah, VAR is here because let's be honest, people have been cheating for a long time, and some stuff doesn't get traced. Some stuff gets missed. So you think my thing's elite, I'm gonna be cool, but no, it's not cool, bro. We found that.
But you know what? Having said that, that would make sense if we didn't get the failed test from beforehand, because that one was outside of competition, that was outside of contract terms and everything. So that happened, and then they paid for more of the testing outside of that. So that would then tell you.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
It's because it's a pregnancy drug and said you are the father.
But think about it though. If you bust 30 on the thing and you're legit on it, the last thing you're gonna want to do is let that thing happen again. I don't want them man near this thing no more. You'd let that go. And it does explain why. It does explain why he's not opted for any of the crisis PR options that would be available. We wouldn't know about. No, listen to me, bro.
Hold on.
We will not be privy to the team that sit around and say, Conor, here are a list of things you could say. He has opted to say no to all of them, and he's just. So now, there's something.
I'm going to give pushback to this thing that you lot are saying right now. So while you do say these things and say, why would he go ahead and do this? Again, a lot of money can be made. If I'm a Eubank, if I'm sitting in the Eubank side of the camp and I find out before this thing has happened, this guy's already, it's a dirty sample. I'm saying, yo, I don't know what's going on before. We're signing up. There's no way we're doing this fight without him signing up. Because again, it's very telling when Eubank tweets, what's done in the dark will come to the light, bro. You can't just put a tweet out like that.
That doesn't mean it was already, though.
That's
after the fact.
I'm just saying, no, but I'm saying that he must have been aware that this guy's pop dirty. We're in negotiations because a lot has to happen at the negotiation part. And these guys, remember, this fight, was all about the money. These guys were willing to go through British Border Control. Everybody else was willing to say, forget everything we know. We're going to move forward because we've seen the testing. And, remember the key line was, he knows how much is in the system. He knows how much they've gone to their doctors. They've taken it to everybody. So they've done forensics. And they got to say, we know he was dirty. You're going to sign you up to the proper thing because we need to hear that what's in your system is not going to give you too much of a I don't know,
an advantage.
There you go. Just saying. 60%.
Do you know what? I've got another wild take, and I wanted to make this take a couple of weeks ago, but I figured I'll put it now just so we can kind of slightly debate it, and then we'll go on to the main topic. So imagine now, right? Because they said that Eubank knew about the second one, and potentially he might have even known about the first one. If you're saying that's maybe why they both, I'm saying maybe that's why they both insisted on VAR, because Conor's like, well, no, I'm clean, and then he's like, well, I'm coming down to 60% for you, kind of thing, right? What if there was enough traces in Conor's first sample that Eubank was like, you know what, this fight ain't going to happen. So I can take the piss. I can eat the food that I'm eating and everything and not have to train properly because I know the fight's not going to happen. And now I'm going to get all the plaudits afterwards. Because Travis, you said he's a mastermind. He's an evil mastermind, right? What if that was always the plan?
That could well be the case, when you just like, this fight ain't going ahead.
Like him taking the knee and saying, let's do it again.
Yeah. But you know what, though? You know what's interesting? It's like you look at it and you say, all right, but him making weight is to complete his side of the contract to guarantee, like in an attempt to guarantee the money. So it's like, I'll make the weight. I know I'm not fighting nobody at this weight. That's why I could almost dangerously make it. This guy had nothing on him, bro. He looked sick. If he walks into the ring after weighing that, and he was only 159, he wasn't even on weight. I was like, nah, this ain't.
And then that just sets up a much bigger payday, or at least a good PR and good grace for moving.
Because make no mistake here, Eubank Ben is going to happen, and it's going to be huge. This story has made it a bit, obviously, it's big, but for reasons that we wouldn't necessarily like, but it's going to be massive.
Yeah.
Eubank seen his plan for this fight to be a stadium fight. Well done.
Yeah, possible.
again, so we have to move it on, and I can't wait to hear your breakdown tomorrow on just because there was good fighting on the weekend. So I want to know what you think about Zelfa. So I'll leave that for the breakdown, but we can talk about a fight that's not happened yet. A fight is potential with Bivol Beterbiev. We looked at Bivol yesterday and we say, bro, like, who is the light heavy? Whose era is this gonna be? Like, where's your head at now? And do you give Yard? Do you fancy Yard against Beterbiev in this coming
Not
up?
A chance.
Bloody hell.
Not a chance. I'm gonna be at the fight. I'll tell you that. Like, I wanna experience that live, but I don't.
Is that happening over here?
Yeah, it's supposed to be at the O2. I heard.
It makes sense. It makes sense bringing that.
Because that's because what's it called? Frank has said that you know, Bob's obviously bringing them over. It's going to be a big London fight and to raise the profile or whatever. And yeah, obviously you want to give Yard all home field advantage. You're not going to make him go to Canada or America for that fight. You're going to bring him over here where he can possibly get the rubber, the green, and all the home comforts. So as soon as they announce that, I'll be getting my tickets. I want to see that up front and personal. But with regards to your question about who's the number one, I've been said that Bivol is the guy. Like, I've said it for a couple years. Beterbiev is a monster. I know people saying, oh, he's just pressure fighting. No, Beterbiev is actually an elite level boxer. He can box front foot, back foot, side to side. He can hit you with straight punches. He can hit you with hooks, uppercut. Like, he's got the array of everything. But the one thing he doesn't have on his time, in this case, is size. Not size, sorry. Time. Yeah. Times on it. Like, he's injury prone primarily just because of how hard and stuff he normally hits. Like, he's a bit like David Hay in the sense that he's got that power that it just throws your joints out of whack. All of that sustained punishment that you're actually putting other people through is putting your joints through certain things as well. And that's a talent for him, because a lot of the time he doesn't even throw the full oomph behind his shots. They're all he keeps a lot of them short, but they're just clubbing and they're fudding, and a lot of them you just don't see. But time's not on his side. Time's on Bivol's side, and Bivol's just got
38.
38 in January, yeah. But he's got out that what Bivol's got that Beterbiev doesn't have is the distance. He's a much better master at the distance. And regardless of whether you're taller or shorter than him, he knows how to stay at the range where his shot's going to get off before yours, and he's going to be able to either exit the pocket before you, or he's going to be able to move into the pocket to stop your shot having whatever power on it that you want to get from it. So he will, and his one good thing about obviously Bivol as well, his boxing brain is immense, and he's a bit like Usyk, where like mentally he's forever switched on. There's never a lapse.
Right. Yeah, steps ahead.
And those are the dangerous people, the ones that are always switched on, because when you start to get tired or you wonder, like, they're still there. And then that's when they start picking you off when you have that slip, and they see that slip before you even realize.
Into again Alexander Wilson, big super chat here. Recency bias with Bivol. Beterbiev didn't break a sweat against Joe Smith, who Bivol went 12 rounds with. I think Callum Smith is the best UK light heavyweight. I like what he's put in the chat there, because there's Beterbiev can force you into a fight he wasn't expecting. Going to drag him into deeper waters. Will he be able to? Could he drown him? Does he have a?
No, but the only thing is, though, Bivol he's a 12-round fighter.
Of course,
like, he's not stopping man like how Beterbiev does. So I don't hold it against him just because he's gone the distance with someone. Did he go was it a close fight with Joe Smith and Bivol? You can't argue that one. So for me, I'm like, bro, it's that thing where you got a man who's a knockout puncher and a man who's comfortably outboxing you over 12 rounds. He stays in second gear, for crying out loud.
That's the thing, like you said, exactly that. He stays in second because he doesn't need to do more. He's not a person. Let's not forget, his first part of his career, he was taking people out with one punch. There's a reason Zurdo Ramirez didn't try and rush him last night, because he felt that power and said, shit, I'm not taking that. I'm not taking risks. And with Bivol, he's a case of, all right, I'm going to do more than you every round. I'm going to prove to you sustainably that I'm better than you. And I'm going to make sure that you can't have this thing your own way. So he'll do enough to make sure that he wins a round. And I think to him, he wants to stay risk averse. He said many times with his dad through the amateurs said to him, he was winning fights, he was knocking people out, but his dad said, you're getting hit. the next time you're in a fight, if you get hit, I'm throwing the towel in on you. So he's like, that's why he thinks about defense more. It's all his dad mentality. He doesn't need to take the risks because he's already winning. He's already mentally beating you by knowing that you can't do anything, and he's just there coasting. And I think that's where he takes his enjoyment. It's almost like a bit of a sadistic thing. Like I'm gonna take those 12 rounds, and I'm gonna let you know you can't have this. No matter what you do, I'm going to sustainably beat you for 12 rounds. And I think that's just how he likes it. But he can knock people out if he wants.
Look at Jimmy's comment here. He goes, in response to the super chat, he goes, Styles make fights. Bivol doesn't get dropped by Callum Johnson like Beterbiev did. Bruv.
Because Beterbiev will take chances to land and get you out of there. Bivol will say, I don't need to take that chance. I'm already beating you. Safety first. And that's how he operates.
I need to again.
And he hurt Ramirez as well.
Yeah,
don't get it
twisted. That's why Ramirez wasn't running in on man. Like he felt that power. Said, damn, okay, all right, let's try and box. Let me see if I can get a couple jabs off. That's how he was moving.
Ramirez.
It was AJ Usyk in there. It was AJ Usyk in there.
And again, Ramirez was robbed on the scorecard, but
that was hilarious.
He just had to say that. Obviously, you got to say that to his fans.
I thought I did enough for the judges, bro. No, you don't think that. You don't feel like that at all.
You're an absolute disgrace. You're
yeah.
But yeah,
with regards to, sorry, before I go, because you obviously said like you think Bivol's fighter of the year. I keep saying this, and I'm gonna forever say this. As great as he's had of a year, I disagree. To me, fighter of the year is Bam Rodriguez. I don't see how anyone is not taking Bam into consideration. He fought 3 fights this year, so he's been more active than anyone else. Also, he beat 3 guys that were 2 divisions above his natural weight, while winning a title and knocking out one of the most feared punchers in the super flyweight division. To me, Bam Rodriguez is the fighter of the year.
Okay, I'll go back and watch some more. I'll watch it because I'll be real. I haven't really taken notice of Bam. Yeah, we'll see.
At the age of 22 as well. Again, he's a 108 fighter, was taking out man at 115. There may not be a huge jump, but that's 2 weight divisions.
For me, it's one of those things where people they're gonna overlook that because it's the hardcores that really watch that weight division. So I'm gonna have to take some extra time before I can come back on that one. Yeah, I will.
All right.
Thingy's taking the
no.
I was typing it. Who's Bam Rodriguez? You're taking the piss. You know what I was trying to do? I was trying to see how many times the what do you call it? Naya Nui fought.
Nui's fought
twice
this year. He's got one more.
I was trying to see if he fought again. That's what I'm saying. That was why I was like,
he could potentially end up being. Well, he probably would be because that's 3 fights as well.
Yeah, he's the one for me. But then again, I didn't want to just rush in there, so I said, let me just work on the jab, make sure before I jump in there.
By the way, before you look, anyone who wants to potentially make some money this week, though, obviously, if it's your last £10, don't do it. But if you got £10 spare, like bet on Felix Alvarado to knock out Sonny Edwards on Friday. If you got £10 spare, you'll make some nice money.
You know what? I don't even have £10, but I feel like making this bet.
I'll tell you about it on the breakdown tomorrow. If you want.
Listen, I don't even have £10, but I'll find it, and I'm gonna make this bet. I would love to make this kind of money.
check his record and check his credentials. Like those odds for Felix Alvarado are mad, and they're wild.
That's crazy.
Very crazy.
I don't know. It's the thing that I won't even hold my hands up. I'll be like, I don't watch this.
I don't need to know anything. I'm just gonna go with what you call it. And if I make this money again, wow.
Trust me, those odds are crazy. They're insane. And you look at the guy's record and look at who he's fought in them weights, and you're like, you're giving him these odds? It's worth a £10. Put it that way.
All right. I feel like who am I to judge? I'm gonna just bet my money. Just bro.
That's up, guys.
KG, the money I got for you that's in escrow. Star Fox just reminded me. He said the money I got for you in escrow. I'll put that towards the bet, bro. Don't worry about that.
I'm talking about, bro. This escrow that Trav, you've had my money in escrow for far too long. I think it's
we're still within the agreed payment schedule.
What's gone? The business days, because we've done those business days, bro.
Wasn't it 65 business days?
Bro, we've done this.
Yeah, but it renews on the 64th day of the contract. Read the contract. I don't know who's your legal team, mate.
You're a liar.
You're a liar.
Bro, the Kell Brook. Nah, Kell Brook is. Retired, unretired, and retired again. I just want money. I want my money.
Look, mate,
I want people drinks that night. Hold on, before we move on though, we have to do this. Let's put it in the chat as well. People, just a quick reminder: if you don't know, you should know. Too bold, too hilarious. Not far
what day is it today?
Not far
20 days. 20 days away, bro.
Get your ticket, man. Get your ticket right now. Like, it's gonna be incredible. Like, hold on, let me just quickly put that in there. Copy the link. Let me just add that to the thing. You get me? Trav, we got to do a giveaway as well. We got to do a giveaway. I don't know what kind of giveaway we're going to do, but we have to do it.
Let's do it on the pod. Let's give away some tickets on the pod.
Yeah, we're going to do a giveaway. But listen, we just want you lot to come and support us, man. Come support me. I ain't been on stage like that in that way for a while. I was in training camp. I went on tour with Travis to get myself ready, to get myself like back into the mix. It'll be great if you lot are there, man. It'll be great.
Bro, I'm out here in New York in these comedy clubs, bro. I'm getting sharp, fam.
Getting sharp. I'm gonna have to hit Shoreditch and get into some of these clubs just to give myself, because I don't want to. My guys in New York, I'm in Shoreditch, bro.
Hey, dog. Paul Finance says he's coming with the missus. Wicked, bro. Your boy Jay said he's coming. He's there. Lovely. Love that, man.
All right, let's do it. HGM, let's go. HGM.
Well, one man there.
What's going on, bro?
Man, we're out here, bro. There's bits to talk about. Bivol, Beterbiev. How do you see it? Who's the man? Again, Bass has come in. He said, you know what? Don't sleep on Bivol. He's never slept on him ever in his life. And he says that's the guy to get it done. What do you say?
Well, for me, Beterbiev's actually my favorite fighter. He's number one. Yeah, he's my favorite fighter. I think Beterbiev does it. Gilberto Ramirez, yeah, he's a good fighter, but he came from the lower weight division. Came from 168. Even though he's coming in at 203. That's
how.
Yeah, I don't know how he done that either, man. It must have been a sleeping in the sauna. Never mind, man. Boy, oh, sleeping in there.
That's insane.
Well, how does he get it done then? Because again, we've heard it from another side. How do you feel Beterbiev wins this fight then?
I agree with everything Bass said. And Travis he mentioned something in the opening about Bivol's style. Bivol is very passive. He's always in gear 2. Beterbiev, it's I'm gonna use a Dragon Ball Z analogy. Beterbiev's Broly. He's Broly.
Man, there's no sense to being in the world.
You could be punching him up. He's down. When he gets back up, man, it's like he's gone Super Saiyan times 10. Every time someone's put him down, he gets up, he gets them out. As you the man say, get them the hell out of there.
Yeah.
How many times has Beterbiev been put down? Besides,
I think he's been put down twice.
Okay.
Early in his career, and then by Callum Johnson. I remember when Callum Johnson put him down. That's the worst thing he could have ever done, man. He slapped him up like it was a domestic violence case, man. Boy. Man, he battered him, man. Anyway, let me move on, man. I don't want to get banned like Kyrie. Right now, man. So, boy.
Yeah. HGM.
But yeah, this just from a technical standpoint, Bivol, what he does is when he doesn't box, he doesn't trade with you. He box, but it's like your turn, my turn, your turn, my turn, and they allow you to get up shots. Is he willing to take shots on the forearms from Beterbiev?
No, but I think because you have to understand. So let me jump in this one. You have to look at the way I think he fights. The way he fought Canelo, he'll be a lot more aggressive. Bivol he'll show that level of aggression that he showed in that Canelo fight. It'll be different to this fight, because even we said before, it was like we almost looked to the Craig Richards one, and we used that as a way of mapping to say how the fight could go. We said, well, he's a bit reserved, he's thinking through the whole fight, and you can see in each fight he will just adapt his style, a piece. If this is, more aggression, so I don't think he's gonna stay in gear 2, because we didn't see gear 2 in that Canelo fight. We saw something completely different. We saw a pulverizing. Let's be honest.
Yeah, no, that's true. But I think again, Canelo being the smaller man, he just I don't think he really rated him. Really, I think he just being the smaller man, he thought, I can get this off. With Beterbiev, you're going in with a pressure cooker. You're going in with a tiger. that's what you're going in. And I really think Beterbiev's pressure is.
Well, Beterbiev's going in there with a lion, fam.
Oh yeah. You know what? Yard's got a chance. I don't think he's gonna win, but he's got a chance, man. He's got a chance. Yard's got to take him out within 6 to 8. If it goes past 8, Yard's lost. He's got to take him out between 6 to 8 because Beterbiev gets better as the rounds go on. He's got late knockout power. He's got late stoppage knockout power. He's one of those fighters where their knockout power doesn't cease, it doesn't drain. It's always the same.
Can Lions in the camp get it done again? Yard has got that explosive power. Yard is that Lion got enough?
I don't think he's got enough, but he's got a chance. Just put it that way. He's got a chance. But yeah, with that one, I think you touched on the Conor Benn thing. Yeah, before I just get off, I just say as just very quickly, man. Look, man. When you've got to come up with these, I don't know these movie lines to say that you're innocent, man, you got a problem, man. Like you've got a problem. Look, I remember when I was in your Discord for a bit, just I'm busy now, and I remember I sent I think it was Ash a video time ago. I was just running joke about Conor Benn being a wife beater, just running joke. But then when you watch the video, my man's just extra aggressive. And I've been around roided guys that always extra aggressive. It's always extra aggressive. Always, he's too aggressive, and roided man are like that. They're just very aggressive. And I've just talking from the analysis side. I used to work in the lab, so I kind of break it down how it goes. So when you're doing a test, it's either a urine sample or a blood test. It goes through something called HLPC, or mass spectrometry. So what it does is that it tests the chemical absorption according to the actual elements in a compound. So when you have a masking agent now, because they got historical data, if they see a masking agent, it could be the littlest amount. If they see a masking agent, they start looking through the historical data and look at other fighters who have had that same compound at that same rate, and were they cheating? So they're going off historical data now. So if you have the same amount of, how can I say, substance percentage as historical fighters before, and they cheated, then they're gonna say, right, because of historical data, you've cheated because, let's say, John Jones had X amount of this, another fighter had X amount of this at the same percentage, and they were also cheating. So by fact, you've been cheating. That's why by actual scientific evidence, Conor Benn's not pushing it that way, because that's the route they're pushing. But I'll leave you with that one anyway, man. God bless, man. And yo, growing, man. Your channel's going hard. Now I'm saying your channel's going hard, man. Growing, man. God bless, man. Take care.
Thank you, brother.
It's hard. I think, you know what, the roid rage one is just because Conor you can't call it roid rage to say, because it's that thing what it is here that we talking about. I think he's got a chip on his shoulder, definitely.
I'll tell you what it is here. There's a lot of but there's a lot of aggressive people anyway. Do you see what I'm saying? Like fiercely aggressive, competitive people that I don't necessarily, I can't link, everybody can't be on roids just because they're aggressive, but there's all things to be explored at this point. You know what I mean? There's nothing you could be like, no, that's definitely not the case. You know what I mean? Until we know for sure, boy, we don't know. But just to clarify, the woman beating stuff, we're gonna have to make sure that we separate what. I'm not backing that.
Someone said, "Where's apology to the doctor, Travis and KG?"
What apology? The guy sat on camera and said, "You're an idiot if you get caught by VADA, UK VADA, or UCAD." Sorry, he said, "You're an idiot if you get caught by them because there's ways to." The guy's still scatty, even if he's involved with Conor's team or he's not. He shouldn't be involved in boxing.
Crackhead.
Sorry, just my hands.
So no apology given.
Let's keep it moving.
Thought you had something there.
Oh wait, hold on. I need to before we bring in Danny, I need to talk to this guy because I always like chatting to him. Oi, Art of War, baby, Smallsy.
Hey boys. How are you?
How you been, bro? Haven't seen you in a minute.
Yeah, no, I've been good. Just been recovering, but we're back on our feet.
I hear you, bro.
Yeah.
What's next for Cambosis?
What's next for him? Well, he can, he could. There's a lot of sort of domestic things he could do. He could. There's that bloke Liam Paro who fights up in Brisbane a bit. That Eddie Hearn's been building up, and that I think he's at 140, so that could be a nice little domestic clash. He could also, Cambosis is still a good top 10 lightweight, so if he wants to, he could go on and sort of
True.
Get money fights sort of thing. He's got a name now. The thing is, right, I actually would be happy to see him retire because he's been to the literal.
What?
Why?
How did this guy go from out of war to retirement? You told me that second fight. Listen, where the ground wasn't filled up the way it needs to be filled up. You said, listen, it could be out of war. Yeah, and I don't know how you gone from there's big fights in Boston to retirement. This is sounding crazy right now.
The reason is because, well, like if he wants to, and he probably will, I suspect he'll want to go on and keep fighting. But he took a fair bit of damage in that last Haney fight. He's also made north of $10 million. He's got to the literal highest point that you can get to in the boxing game. He's never going to get that high again. It's like at this point, what is he still fighting for? He's got to the top.
His name is cemented. His name is cemented in history.
He's had all the belt. Yeah, he done. He
undisputed champ.
That's the thing. He's one of the possibly the high, like in terms of belts. He's got one of the highest, one of the best wins for an Aussie boxer.
He can't go out like that though. He can't go out like that. He has to fight again. That's mad.
And he probably will.
Getting losing to Haney and then saying, you know what, I've made my money. It's time for me to cut. That doesn't feel good. He's got to fight.
I suspect he will, and I suspect it'll probably be more domestic stuff from now on because he has a name here.
Was he not undisputed? Is Haney not undisputed right now?
No, Haney's undisputed now.
Yeah, he was.
So why people saying he wasn't undisputed? Hot Pies is saying he wasn't undisputed.
Didn't he win? He took all the belts. What are we talking about?
I don't know. I know what Hot Pies are getting at. So obviously, there was the whole debacle with who was the real WBC champion. Was it Haney? Was it Cambosis? I mean, now at this point, it's like, who cares? We know it's Haney now. So, but people are still going to be like, oh, he wasn't the real WBC. Like, who cares? We know who the WBC is now. So, if Cambosis was like I personally counted him as undisputed, but if you want to count him as not undisputed, he was 3.5 belts instead of 4, whatever. He did pretty well. So.
Yeah. Sorry, I'm going to allow you because it's not every day that you have to always give us beat. It's not fair that I make you the
representative
correspondent. It's just fun for me sometimes. But bro, what do you want to talk about today? What's up?
I was listening to Base the Kid talking about Bivol and Beterbiev, right?
Yeah.
Now, I actually, at this point, it's hard not to pick Bivol just because he looks so perfect as a boxer. But people are also there. This always happens. One guy wins. One guy gets a really good win, and immediately, like the bets flood in on that guy to win the big fight. Yeah, and I think people are forgetting Beterbiev because Beterbiev this is his second rotation at being the number one. Like he's had this whole number one versus number two thing years ago when he fought the Ukrainian. I'm forgetting his name now. Someone will remember his name. The guy who
talking about?
He retired him. Who was the Ukrainian that he fought like a few years back, and he retired. He retired after this fight. It was literally Bivol versus Beterbiev. Vosdik, that's it. Sorry, yeah. So right. Beterbiev versus Vosdik happened years back, and that was what Bivol versus Beterbiev is now. It was the number one versus number two. And people were picking Vosdik in that fight because Vosdik was the more sort of like clinical outside boxer, like what Bivol is. So Beterbiev was the underdog in that fight, and he kind of shut a lot of people up in that fight. Now a few years have gone on. He's only fought once a year. Bivol, we've had the rise of Bivol, and people kind of forgetting that this is a second go round at being the number one guy. So I think people are sort of like writing him off a bit. The only thing is, and like as amazing an analyst Base the Kid is, let's be honest, he's more of a post-fight analyst. He's not much of a predictor. So I don't know how much we want to base on No, I love you, basic kid. I'm joking. But
Don't back down from the smoke, bro. You called his name. Let him know what time it is.
Yeah, no, it's all love based, but yeah, I don't go betting. I wouldn't, like he said, don't go betting your last £10 on any like tips from base. But yeah,
baby. That was spicy again. Monday night smoke. So don't apologize for the smoke. Again,
not even meant to be spicy though. Just but yeah, no, and okay. The other last thing, boys. I'm at the point now where I just kind of assume anyone who's not really, really, really tested, and even then I still have my doubts. Anyone who's like test positive for a drop of something, I immediately assume is a drug cheat at this point, because when you've got doctors coming out and just talking on air about how easy, like blatantly talking about how easy it is to dodge a test, what that tells me is it's not that easy to pop dirty. It's if you're clever enough and you've got the resources to do the right things and pass the test, you'll pass the test. It's when you make a mistake that you pop dirty. And then that's when we get all these arguments coming out.
That's the point right there. When you make a mistake, there you go. So some people think they're gonna get through it, and it won't show up. And somehow it shows.
That's the thing, and that's why I don't really put too much stock into the argument that he's been on, he paid for the VADA testing, because he paid for it because he had a doctor who knew how to dodge it. So he was happy to, and often sometimes if someone's got something to hide, they will come out extra hard against whatever it is they're trying to hide. So yeah, and when you put a few things together, that doctor is also the doctor for well-known clean athlete Tyson Fury. And also when you put together that, like, Ben's body, like, did you see his, like, if take out boxing, if Conor Benn was a professional bodybuilder and you looked at him, his body, would you say he's a clean bodybuilder? Like, it didn't look natural. So I just have my doubts about,
But then bear in mind though, the only pushback in terms of how he actually looks is
I got a dog in him. I knew Smallsy had the dog in him.
Oh yeah. No, I'm saying the only pushback in terms of how he looks is that I've seen men go from, like, just by going gym, them, like, just normal people I'm talking about, transform themselves in like a year. So for me, I'm like, you're also looking at a guy in his young early 20s. Like, those changes are not the craziest thing to happen. That's all I'm just saying is a light pushback.
Smallsy, people just want to know, I hope the apology is going to be this loud.
Yeah.
It will have to be.
Yeah, I mean, look, the thing is, though, how do you prove your innocence? Like, there's going to be this whole contamination thing. Look, if it comes out that there's a widespread, estrogen leak into the UK's egg supply, sure, I'll be the first guy coming out saying he's clearly innocent. But it's like anyone can say, oh, some bloke at the pub dropped something in my drink. Like, I don't know. Are we going to buy that? Like, if there's pure evidence, but this kind of thing would not happen on a small scale. It's not like someone walked up to, Ben's bacon and eggs and sprinkled something on it. Like, it'll have to be something that's like widespread and many, many other people being contaminated as well, and then I'll be like, yeah, cool.
Yeah, it's man. Listen, Smallsy, big up, man. Some people call it the call of the night. All the best, man. Stay blessed.
Take care, bro.
Come on, bro. He fired shots at our guy just like that from nowhere, bro. Said you're after the moment predictions, bro. So they're not even predictions, they're just like the news. Hey, listen, Danny, you know what's going on in these streets. Base told us to put some money down. Yeah, should we do it?
Yeah, you should.
Me and Travis are gonna put our £10 together, and we're gonna try and You think it's a good idea?
Yeah, tenner. You can't go wrong with a tenner.
All right, we're doing it. Trav, put it down. Use the escrow money that I gave you.
The escrow budget. All right, cool,
yeah,
no worries. That is coming out of your purse, though. Are you happy with that?
What's the splits?
There's no.
Wait, what's the splits on that? Because I want to understand. Now I have to ask these questions because if I don't ask, I'll be in trouble, and I got to make sure.
No, good thing you have asked. I mean, it is in the contract that you signed already, but yeah, I'll just let you know. I'll just bring that up now. So as it is now, the split divide 85%. That's to me because of what and the admin.
Wait,
and then 15. No, sorry, there's 14 to you, and then 1% for the legal fees.
What about service charge?
Sorry. So that's 13.5% to you, and then 1% to the legal fees, 0.5% to the service charge. Thanks for that, Danny.
Oh my
God!
I don't know what to say. All right, let's just go. Danny, yours, bro.
Yeah, let's get into this. So with the Bivol Beterbiev, now that's a great 50-50 fight. But yes, people bring up the Callum Johnson knockdown or whatever. For one, remember his bum didn't touch the floor. It's just his gloves touched the floor, and it's because he went in for the finish, and he ended up finishing Callum off in a couple of rounds after anyway. And remember, Callum Johnson is a former Commonwealth gold medalist, so he's not a joker. And remember, the same Joe Smith Jr. that Beterbiev didn't break a sweat with, somebody said, that same Joe Smith Jr. rocked Bivol to his boots at the end of the ninth round, if you remember. That's the worst I've seen Bivol hurt. So when he does get caught clean, and it was high on the head as well, which, Beterbiev loves to club people around the side and the high on the head. So Bivol can be taken out, but I think it's a 50-50 fight.
It's a lot to get to him, though. That's the part, like, defensively, he's in his bag. And you know who's going to get him on high defensive alert? Beterbiev, bro. You remember when Floyd fought Canelo? Floyd was on his toes. When Floyd fought Pacquiao, he was on his toes. He weren't around. You see what I'm saying? That's because I respect him. You know what I'm saying? He's going to get out of him. He knew that obviously going up against a green Canelo, being in the pocket would be the way to catch him off guard. But against Pacquiao, he was on his toes. He was moving quite swiftly. Bivol is going to be in his defensive bag in there with Beterbiev.
Absolutely, and he glides. The way he glides and moves and pivots, it's beautiful to watch. He is a master boxer, and I can definitely see him outboxing Beterbiev for long periods of the fight. But when Beterbiev gets up close and starts clubbing and slamming home shots, then it's how can Bivol deal with that, and can he cope with that? Because and Beterbiev can box as well, but nowhere near as good as Bivol.
That's it.
So let me just say, I'm gonna bring in Maestro. It's not for a war thing or nothing, just to have the conversation together, so we don't run out of time and stuff. One thing I wanted to, I was gonna bring up Maestro actually. I need to give you your flowers, brother.
Thank you.
No, do you know why?
He didn't even say for what. He said,
"Well, I already know what it. I already know what it's for. It's because I beat the gas out that boy last week."
No. You had my man fighting on the pod, bro. That was outrageous.
No, it weren't that one. It's because
Lennox was fighting for real on this pod.
It weren't because of that. It's because you introduced us and boss us on over here in the UK on Mr. David Morrell.
Morrell Jr. Didn't I tell you?
You did, bro. You did.
And I weren't listening.
Same.
Guys, listen.
You
guys know I live in the Bronx, New York, right? And I flew out to Minnesota just to go to that fight.
Wow.
Okay.
What's that?
To get to Minnesota, all right, I had to get up super early on a Saturday, which is usually a day when I kind of relax a little bit, get geared up. Might get a workout in, but that's the day to watch boxing in the evening, right? It's not the day I get up to work. But I had to get up super early. I went to LaGuardia Airport. The flight to Chicago, which is where I was supposed to change flights to get to Minnesota, kept getting delayed and delayed and delayed. Then they told me it was because of fog. And then my flight from Chicago, which I didn't even get to go to Minneapolis, was canceled. So I had to fly all the way almost to the West Coast to Denver just to catch a flight there to get to Minnesota. But you know what? It was worth every little bit of it. It was worth every little bit of it. What I do got to say about that fight, though, as impressive as David Morrell was, he did a lot of stuff that Bivol does very well. He bends his knees. He changes levels, right? He goes to the head, he goes to the body, he jabs to the body, right? He throws in combination when his guy is thinking that it's time to rest, right? He gets his punches off. Beautiful boxing, but his power is ridiculous. But Imos's coaching team, Idos's coaching team, rather, the Kazakh, I was so upset with them. I actually yelled at them after the fight because that fight should have been stopped 4 to 5 rounds before it was. David Morrell Jr. put him into the hospital. Right now, he's actually in a medically induced coma, and I just hope he recovers from that. He took a sustained beating that entire fight. He had no chance of winning that fight. That was clear. Definitely after 8 rounds. There's no way that they should have allowed that guy to see the 9th round, the 10th round, the 11th, and definitely not the 12th when he got knocked out. So I got a lot of stuff up on my Instagram, on my YouTube page. If anyone wants to see highlights of the knockout, Tony P told me that the fight wasn't on television over there. Which is really bad. I don't know what's going on with the UK with showing these PBC and Showtime fights. They need to get that together.
Yeah,
I saw it, but obviously it weren't on a normal channel. But I got it through a service.
Who's that?
Who was that?
Sorry, that was me by accident.
But yeah, October Red. I saw. She said she mentioned David Morrell back in 2020, but yeah, I wasn't subscribed. I don't think I was subscribed to you in 2020, so I got bust on it by Maestro. So that's why I'm not saying that nobody knew about him. I'm saying that Maestro bust me on it.
Well, the other thing is I've been beating the drum like I was in Cuba playing that Afro-Cuban percussion, man. I mean, when it comes to this kid, because
metaphors. No, look what Maestro's become on this pod. Maestro's different now. Maestro's changed.
He hasn't changed. He told us about the pythons. The guy's been talking his stuff for a long time, bro. And we just
this is the thing with me. What I say, I actually back it up. When I say I'm out at these fights, I'm actually out at these fights. The people that are questioning it, talking stuff in the chat, whatever, I leave those people alone because you know what? They're not doing what I do. They're not doing what I do. Okay, and I put my money where my mouth is. I got a YouTube channel. It's relatively new, all right, but it's growing steadily. All right, I'm actually out at these fights, and you know, look, I'll put it to you this way too. You know, if you're confident in who you are, it's okay to talk that ish.
I love that
to a certain extent, right? And one of the things that I don't know if you talked again about the True Jordy thing. You guys were talking about it last week on your pod.
Yeah, last week.
Right? Yeah. It's like, honestly, I don't really know what he does, what he is, what he's good at in his own regard. Like, you guys are very good at your craft, right? You guys are comedians. You're very good at that. KG, you've done your stuff too in acting as well. You're very good at that, right? What I do, and this is not to toot my own horn, but I'm very good at what I do as a PE teacher in my craft. What's his craft? What does he do exactly? They make him an expert to talk about anything. I don't know, but I don't know why I should be listening to him about anything, let alone boxing.
You're talking about True Jordy right now.
Yeah, like,
interesting.
You know what? I didn't even do a video on that one because I'm like, this dude irrelevant to me. Like, what exactly? Why do I need to comment on what someone?
But hold on though. Let me just. My pushback is cool. My pushback is if we take the interview as an isolated conversation that we're just observing.
Yeah.
Why does it matter who he is or what he is in order to have for this conversation? Because the conversation was it not a conversation that people are like, rah? There's a lot of relief. That there's a reason why it's done well. I don't know why it's a thing where we've got to say, okay, who's True Jordy and what True Jordy's done. That was a good conversation. It feels
your conversation was good or their conversation?
No, as in the conversation that True Jordy had with Tyson Fury, asking the questions he's asking.
I don't really think it was, to be honest with you.
What was wrong with it?
And I'll tell you this as somebody who does interviews, okay? And I'm not just saying that I do interviews. I actually have done interviews. You could see the interview I did with Ronnie Shields. It's up. I like to interview the trainers, especially. That you can see Ronnie Shields last Saturday. Saturday before it was Russ Anber, who was in the corner, Lomachenko. If you're interviewing somebody and you have a question, get your question off. But once you start asking the same question over and over again, it's like, what is the purpose? Like you do a minute. My interview is usually 2 minutes, 3 minutes tops.
But I think,
and I'm hitting different topics in those 2-3 minutes. You do an interview that long and you're stuck on one topic.
But wait, though.
I mean, it's.
But if
whatever.
you plan to speak to somebody for an hour, right? You're gonna have a different conversation pace than if you've just, you're in person and you know that this is a random interview. It's just 2-3 minutes you're working with, so you'll push things in a different way. I've got this guy for an hour. I'm going to speak to things that, as much as people will say is completely irrelevant, isn't actually irrelevant.
I don't think it's irrelevant. It's like you asked the question, he answered. Okay, you wanted to get him to answer it a different way. You asked it twice, whatever. Once you start getting to 3-4 times with the same question, I'm like, moving on, please.
But why was it the same? Why was it the same question? Like, my thing is this, so with True Geordie, right? True Geordie's got his 2 million followers. He interviews big names across many genres. So like, he's not small time. Do you see what I mean? And he's not like a Jake Paul where it's like the wild, crazy stuff where people know him for. Like True Geordie he's a very relevant character, just not only in boxing. So there's that. But when he's having conversations, sometimes someone answers a question and they give you an answer. It's clearly not genuine or it's not real, then you're just like, well, that don't make sense. So I'll ask it in a different way so that we can have another conversation. Whereas Fury is not used to that dynamic. Whereas other celebrities, right, other well-known figures have faced these moments before. So that's what the thing is in terms of, it's not necessarily that, let's attack Fury. It's just that, Fury never has to deal with any of these moments. And that's why boxing journalism has taken a hit in this moment. Because it's like, why have you let this guy get away with just saying whatever he wants, and that's just you just accept it because he said it? Like, ask him.
And you won't get another interview. You know how it goes. You won't get another interview if you ask fighters questions that they don't like, you'll never sit with them again. There's fighters that don't talk to certain media because they just believe you're on that side. So they'll ignore you, bro. Luckily, we don't care about having those conversations, but it's a shame that there's no real that the boxing media is weird. There's a weird energy. I probably you can probably talk to it because you're at these fights. October probably talk to it and say, look, man, there's some people that will now, because I've shown love to this camp, they're not feeling me anymore. And it's
what I will say about the boxing media. Now, it's been a very long time since I lived in the UK, but over here, the boxing media essentially is the internet. Okay, if it's not a YouTube channel, like a big one like Fight Hype, or another big one like Fight Hub or Seconds Out, right? It's the boxing scene. Shout out to my bro Keith Idek. I was with him in Minnesota. The mainstream, unless they're showing the event, like ESPN, ESPN's not covering a non-ESPN boxing event. The New York Times is not out there. Okay, name your corporate media outlet, CNN, whatever. They're not covering boxing. So the internet is the driving force of boxing. This is what we turn to for our boxing news and coverage, right? But honestly, when I'm looking for analysis of a fight, I'm not really clicking on True Geordie, with all due respect. Like I don't.
No,
like,
but that's what he advertises.
And at the end of the day, if, like I said, if you got a question, get your question off. You want to ask a follow-up, ask the follow-up. But he just seems stuck on this whole idea that Derek Chisora is not a credible opponent. And then what goes out afterwards, the headlines. XYZ destroys this. XYZ, some big clickbait answered, and people are doing videos off of this. I'm like, I honestly, I just think that we get distracted a lot of times. Like, because really what people should be talking about is like the X's and O's, because also boxing media has divulged into the backroom business of boxing. What's getting signed? What's not getting signed? Who has a problem with this promoter or that promoter or this, that, and the other? Like, shout out to your channel, because you got a show called The Breakdown where you guys are actually breaking down fights, right? How many outlets are honestly doing that these days?
Pugilist.
Right? It's like now it's like we turn into, clickbait, TMZ almost on everything. It's like, honestly, I don't really care. You know,
now, I understand. I get what you're saying, but you have to understand for a moment that
Yeah.
he's not going to come round and do anyone's. He's not going to sit down with anyone. He knows the reason as to why he chose True Geordie. And let's be honest, True Geordie's been interviewing loads of people in that space. So it's not a random. He knew that,
and
he knew that his voice it'll be loud there, and he's trying to sell a fight that again everyone knows is kind of farcical. And
also, bro, True Geordie was a big Tyson Fury fan. Just to add.
Before.
So that's the journey, and that's the story arc of True Geordie's snapping.
Well, that's already a problem right there, because it's like fanboys interviewing a guy who thinks he's
not
a
boxing
fanboy.
Media. No, but what I'm saying is he's not boxing media. He's a platform that Fury has tried to use to promote the fight, which is natural. There's a reason why these guys, he's a casual fan, but he used to be his fan, and now he's saying, well, I'm actually, as a fan, disappointed like with the way things are going as far as following you and you being the number one guy and the way you're leading boxing by being this dude. So I don't feel like it's a crazy. I don't think it's crazy at all. I don't think it's crazy at all to ask him a question that all.
No, I don't think any of it's. I don't think that. Look, again, you can ask whatever question you want, right? I'm not saying necessarily it's crazy to ask questions over and over again. You know, I'm not even saying it's crazy to react, although it kind of is to those questions. Right. If I was doing it, I would have just handled it. I don't know. You guys have much basketball coverage out there, but the way Kyrie was answering these questions from these reporters, he said, listen, okay, I've addressed that. Next question, please. Let's move on, please. Blah, blah, blah. But
the guy didn't let him off, though. The guy was hounding him, though.
Yeah, he was. But Kyrie handled it with class, honestly. I may not agree with Kyrie's views on everything, but I agree with a man's ability to speak his mind. And I agree with a man, you know, respectfully swerving those kind of questions that way. But what I'm saying is crazy. This is what I think is crazy, just to be clear. The incessant reaction videos to this incident, reacting to this, reacting to this, reacting to it. Okay, it's like, whatever, bro. Like, we got, so what, like, you guys are, came on here to talk about David Morrell Jr. Like, there should have been people talking about that fight. Instead, what are we talking about? True Geordie having some, it wasn't even a face-to-face interview. These guys are talking to each other over camera screens. Like, there's other stuff to talk about. There was Bivol Ramirez. There was the fight with Morrell Jr. and Idos.
It was a big moment, though. We have to understand what these things are. It's a big moment. If you
like the number one heavyweight boxer calling somebody a tosser and he's cussing him out, you bald-headed, bearded, like. That's a moment. If AJ flips out on someone, that's a moment. Like, we can't pretend like the number one heavyweights don't.
AJ was doing all these. When he went on that thing, he was talking about the American Rich Porter and all that. He was getting again. It was a big moment. Do you know what I'm saying? But someone said he blew it up. Crazy.
Yeah, Maestro brought it up. He brought up Tyson Fury. But Maestro, what's your thoughts on the Bivol and Beterbiev?
That's another thing I wanted to talk about. See, I get, you know, what happened is, I'll be honest, I come down here, I rush down to the basement to my office to do this, and then, you know, just take a second. So
let me read this thing. Let me read the super chat.
Yeah, go for it.
Jam Down 187 says, if that's the mood, then we shouldn't be listening to anything Simon Jordan says. He's a failed football chairman. So he's just saying again, like, anyone should be able to have an opinion on boxing. But yeah, go on.
Everybody's entitled to their opinion on every topic. I mean, I'm for free speech. It's my issue is the focus of what we're doing. Like, so back to the question. My view on this fight is that the longer it takes to happen, the better chances Bivol has to win. People have dismissed Beterbiev as almost this, you know, power punching, like Wolfman Savage, and have totally discounted the fact that he was an amateur world champion and an Olympic medalist, right? He's a very high IQ'd, skilled tactician. And if you look at his last fight, which I was at live at MSG, against Joe Smith Jr., right? For that unification fight, Joe Smith Jr. went in with the WBO title, right? But Beterbiev went in with the IBF and WBC. The first round of that fight, he was outboxing him. He was on his toes. He was moving. He was making him miss, and then he made him pay, okay? It wasn't just, I'm going to go out there and knock this guy out. There was a lot of craft, a lot of high IQ kinesthetic intelligence on that.
But would you say that Bivol's got like a higher IQ though? Is that a fair argument? Again, you look at the footwork. I spent a lot of the fight just saying, you know, I'm just gonna watch his feet and see how he's moving.
Look at Beterbiev's feet. Beterbiev closes the distance on an at an elite level. Closes the distance very well. And again, look at the Joe Smith Jr. fight. Joe Smith Jr. is taller than him, has a bigger reach than him, and he closed that gap fast. That was with footwork. All right. He got to the body. He got to the head. That was what I focus on, level changes, right?
Yeah.
Now the thing is, to answer that question, I won't know until they get into the ring.
100%.
What I am saying is that Bivol is a high caliber, elite level competitor. The issue is he's up against Father Time. Now, Bivol wants to fight right away, which he would. But Beterbiev is his compatriot. Don't forget, not only is this bragging rights for the world at 175, this is Russian bragging rights. They're both Russians, right?
Yeah.
So it would be the equivalent of guys in England, which, by the way, England is number 2 in terms of light heavyweights, in my estimation, right behind Russia. All right, it would be like having an undisputed fight with English fighters, British fighters. It's a big deal. But Bivol's team is going to shift him towards the Canelo rematch. And if I was Bivol's team, here's what I would do. Take the Canelo rematch at 168. Put the undisputed titles on the line. Bivol said he would do it, Trav. Bivol has been saying for years that he can easily make 168.
Going down and then coming back for Beterbiev. Get Beterbiev done and then go down.
Listen, for 1 second.
Go on, sorry.
If he goes down and takes, because don't forget, the argument right now is that Beterbiev has to handle business with Yard. Now, I think he beats Yard, okay? And I'm of the view that that mandatories are trumped by unification fights, but that's only if they're petitioned for.
I want to jump in. Danny, I want to ask Danny, as a fight bench trainer, as a trainer, are you gonna give your fighter this advice? Would you say this is the road to take? Because this seems like I don't understand why you would risk it in this way, why you go down and up. And again, these are both, Canelo's not going to be an easy fight. And then after Canelo, again, switching and now saying, all right, let's go and take Beterbiev. It doesn't make any sense. Would you do this?
No, especially because it's a weight he's never boxed at as a pro before. And as we know in history, when a man goes down and he goes back up, he's never the same guy.
Thank you.
Roy Jones is a prime example. Like, it always happens. So I would take care of Beterbiev first in the all domestic dust up for Russian way, and then go for the Canelo fight if you think you can make it. But struggling to go and make that.
Canelo ain't going nowhere soon.
He's not going anywhere, Trav, but those titles are about to be coming up due. Don't forget, you've got David Benavidez, who holds the interim title at 168, and you got my man David Morrell Jr., Osvadi David Morrell Jr., who holds the regular title at 168, and he's going to be in a position rather quickly. You guys know that.
How do you see David Morrell and Canelo down the line looking?
Man, I see David Morrell Jr. up there with anybody in the world at 168. The man has 7. Was it? He had 7 fights right now, I think, or is it 8? 8 wins, 7 by KO. He's beating guys in brutal fashion. He's a generational talent. There's a kid that for granted it was a second-tier world title, but in like his 3rd fight at 21 years old against a guy with like over 20 wins. This guy is incredible, I'm telling you. And he's also filling that venue in Minneapolis, and he's become a draw over there. He's very popular. He lives in Minneapolis now. So last thing I was going to say, if he does go down to 168.
So what you again, we keep getting to this Benavidez thing, like Plant is not, if he's not rejuvenated and feeling good about himself and ready to go. You lot, no one's Plant just out of there. No one.
Listen, my guy David Benavidez is washing Caleb Plant. I agree
with Danny 100%.
And when my boy Benavidez gets hold of Canelo, he's dealing with him also.
Oh, he's not.
That one is a little trickier, but the first part, I definitely agree with 100%. And let's not act like we don't know who the dog Darrell was going into that fight. You're talking about a guy who's been beat up badly already in his career, a guy that went life and death with Avni Yildirim a few fights ago, a guy who already got stopped by David Benavidez. And yeah, Caleb Plant looked great against him, but this is a guy who's in an advanced age and is nearing the end of his career, if not already at the end of his career. Bringing it back to Bivol again, just to close out this point, he's the one who said he wants to fight at 168. I was there in Vegas at the press conference. He made that clear. All right. He thinks it's more interesting. And to be honest with you, I don't even see Canelo beating him at 175. It becomes a little bit more compelling if Bivol is coming down. And then if Bivol does get that win after Beterbiev has taken care of Yard, at that point, you're in a position where you got an undisputed fighter at 168 who also holds a title at 175, fighting at 175 for undisputed to be what has never been done before, at least in the 3 or 4 belt era, the first person to hold undisputed status concurrently. If Bivol does that, I mean, now, he's the one that said he want to be a legend. That's legendary status right there.
Well, not for men, but Clarissa's doing it now already.
Okay, guys, we need to stop it with the comparing the WNBA to the NBA and comparing the UEFA Champions League to the UEFA Champions League women. This is 2 different things. In women's boxing, you literally have an undisputed title fight like we did on Saturday, where sanctioning bodies are like, you know what? We don't have anybody fighting in this division, so we're just going to give you an undisputed fight. Here's our belt. Nobody else is fighting for it. Go for it and be undisputed. Come on, we need to stop it. We need to stop. It's two different sports.
Yeah, 2 of the belts are vacant.
When's the last time there's been an undisputed fight in men's boxing where 2 of the titles being contested for undisputed are vacant titles? Stop it. This is like me saying, "Oh, yo, Maestro, who do you think is the best basketball player of all time?" And I'm like, I think Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, maybe, I don't know, Michael Jordan, maybe LeBron James. Nah, man, Cheryl Swoops. She's the greatest basketball player of all. Lisa Leslie, stop it.
Tell us how you really feel,
Listen, this is why I love Maestro. Maestro has become the pay-per-view star that we didn't know we needed. He's come out of nowhere. Sometimes he has bad rounds. Earlier in this episode, he had a bad round on the True Geordie takes. But he comes in and finishes with a stoppage.
Well, I appreciate you saying that. At the end of the day, I'm talking about my point of view. Like, when I listen, I know, like most of you in the morning, right? You get up, you go to the bathroom, you get this out, right? You're handling your business or whatever, right? Much like Lennox was last week when he was debating me, okay? And you're looking for your update. You're looking for your updates, your news updates. True Geordie. Could somebody talk to me about David Morrell Jr., please?
Well,
Could somebody talk to me about Bivol against Ramirez?
I ain't gonna lie to you, Maestro.
I don't give a fuck about True Geordie.
Maestro, the only thing is, you brought up True Geordie today. No,
because I wanted to address you guys spending an entire episode on this dude. When I'm trying, like,
25,
somebody's got to tell you.
It's a good 25. Listen, 25, but it was a good 25. We're talking about it's our Fury take. And at the end of the day, I know as a strong Fury fan, because you are a Fury man, yeah. And we have to remember, you're coming from a Fury defender.
That's right.
The highest level.
I'm surprised you didn't get an IFL interview the next day after all the matches kicked off. They went as far down as interviewing Dev Sani, fam. That's how far down the bench they went, fam.
Let's try to make peace, bro. Chill with them.
Look, it's fine. I like Fury. My guy right up there on top of me. He's a big fan of Johnny Fisher. He's a big fan of Big Phrase. All right. I'm good with my guy Jared Big Baby Anderson. I'm good with the Juggernaut. I'm good with Tyson Fury. Right. So I mean, it is what it is. those are probably my. Oh, and obviously my man Usyk. I saw my man Usyk. Was it not last weekend, the weekend before. But yeah. But by the way, go ahead.
I'll ask you a question before you get out of here.
Yeah.
You see that Errol, because me and Trav was arguing about Errol Spence and Crawford. In America, is that a big deal? Do you know what? Do they care? Is the world like Americans gonna stop and say, yo, this is our one, like, I don't know, like parties, what's going on? Like, what's the vibe for that fight?
This is the deal. Okay. I got into boxing because my dad liked boxing. My mom, she liked boxing. She actually liked De La Hoya. She was before that a Sugar Ray Leonard person. Before that, Muhammad Ali. But there's been obviously a decline, and it kind of is related to what I was talking about before with you. There's a definite correlation because the mainstream media don't really cover boxing anymore. So there's very few events in the United States for boxing that will get what you guys have out there, which is the daily newspapers covering it, right? The major radio stations, the major TV outlets. That doesn't happen here. So no, it's not. I mean, for the fight fans, it's a big fight. For the general sports fan, it's I don't think it's that big of a deal. And for the general public, which is the last removed level, it's non-existent. So it is what it is. I mean, I was really looking forward to this fight 3 years ago, then 2 years ago. Then it's kind of started to get like lukewarm for me now because I just started to realize that A, we may never see the fight, or B, if we see it, it's going to be way past due date on it. So,
man, that's sad. All right, well, listen, I didn't want to end it on a sad one, but listen, we know what to do. We got to promo the thing. Where can they catch you and Kenny T, bro?
Well, we didn't do a show yesterday because I was traveling back, but usually you could catch us. Your time, it would be 5 p.m. on in the UK on Sundays. It's called Mano a Mano. It's me and Kenny T. Yeah, but like the channel, like the videos, subscribe, all of that good stuff. You could look me up. Just type in Maestro and boxing or Maestro A. I come, and I gotta say something to Trav because Trav is actually rather close to where I am right now.
Yeah,
right? But Trav chose the wrong borough. He down in Brooklyn. We would have welcomed you up in the Bronx with open arms if you came up this way. But there's still time. You can still make it up. You can still make it up. Catch the D train or the 4 train. Shoot straight up here. But I'm gonna see if my wife wants to go, and we probably see you on Thursday, fam. I'll text you about it.
All right, cool. Big up yourself, bro. Stay blessed.
Cool, bro.
Come on. I don't even know about that beef in that like the different areas and that like wait, so you're in Brooklyn and okay. I need to do my research. All right, listen, bro, Danny, talk to me, man. We've actually spoken about everything, you know.
Hey, Jack, hold on. Jack, you in New York, bro? Man, he said, Travis, send location. We need to meet. Hey, come, man. Let's sit down and do an AJ Fury debate in person, bro. I'm down for that.
Crazy. No, oh, man. I think 11:25 didn't show up. You lot treated my boy.
Nah, you know what? Can we just go back to Lennox 25 from last week? Because that was a hell of a performance. Let's get that.
And then in arbitration, that was used as something in legal terms from French law. It's called force majeure, which means
like a
that it's beyond our power. All right? So that's why he won the case. So that's the reason.
I want that. I want that.
Lennox got into his fart bag last week.
Oh, no.
He bricked it.
No. Daddy's gonna leave after that. Come on. Daddy's gonna leave after that. No, Silver looks so pretty, and she said, "I want that. I want that." Bro's phone.
Bro. Lennox has got to come back from this. I know he tried to deny it, but you know when the thing illuminates when the sound comes. I said, "Yo."
But wait, do you reckon? Because Even Conor Benn must be having the same PR voice. How'd you come back? What do you mean? How do I come back from that?
They said, Lennox said, we're just gonna lie. We're just gonna bulldoze. I didn't do it. I did not do it. That wasn't me.
We're waiting for that Part B sample, fam. But anyway, you lot know what to do. Get your tickets. Yeah, man. Obviously, my thing's escrow, but yeah, get your tickets, man. It's gonna be absolutely awesome. Stay blessed till next time. If you don't like anything we said on this episode, call it next week or just write a comment on the pod. Peace. Trap, I want my money, bro. I don't care. You can't be
it's in escrow. Speak to Frank, bro.
My money.